Welcome to Lukewarm Take. Today we're going to be talking about two video games, and I'm lumping them together for the obvious reason and because I played them in a row. The games are Mafia 3 and Watchdogs 2. Both I played for the PS4. They're available for other things. Both star a black guy. And Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3 and cool guy, what's-his-face from Watch Dogs 2. And Watch Dogs 2, he's like a techie nerd, takes place in like present or near future San Francisco. He's like a hacker. And then Mafia 3, he's a guy who just got back from Vietnam. He's orphan, he's done some crime in the past, he's debating on whether he's going to get into it in the future. And both take it like way over the extreme. I killed 20,000 people in these games. I'm going to bring this back, see how that looks. Oh, that looks better. 20,000 people in these games. But both gave me kind of interesting... They made me think about like the black experience in America, both past and present in different ways. So that's really cool. Like if a game makes you think... And also, Mafia 3 made me think a lot about Vietnam. Like it was always like my father's war, so I never thought about it. So it was really cool, and it made me like stand back and pause a minute before slaughtering another 10,000 people, because these are both open world games, bunch of jank. They both play fine though. In Watch Dogs 2, in addition to like your guns and stealing cars and stuff, you have tech gadgets. Same as Watch Dogs 1, they take it to another level. You do a lot of stuff in your drones, and their hacking is just like a game of pipe dream. It's kind of lame. But they really upped their attempts at comedy from the first one, which was good because the first one was so boring. It was fun to play, but so boring. And this one, it's all kind of a joke and for the lulz and stuff like that. And they have their tongue in cheek, so it most of its plays well. There's not a ton of groaners. I'm gonna burp, and I'm sorry. Excuse me. And then Mafia 3, it's so cool. It's there's a documentary about the main character that takes place, and it's interspersing all the stuff you do. And the gameplay is more GTA based. You're using guns and knives. It's like GTA 4. It's not like GTA 5 or this weird stuff. They haven't taken it to that level yet, and the budget's a lot less. But Mafia 3 has one of the most incredible 70s soundtracks I've ever heard. Every hot song, like they play one of the main story beats in the beginning to Rolling Stones' Paint It Black, and I was like stunned. One, they got that song, and two, that the scene was like so perfectly built to it. It was awesome. The acting was on point, and again, it's open world, so you're doing stuff that doesn't correspond to this guy being sort of a good guy, like killing 20,000 people to build up your empire. But he always played it straight in this documentary stuff, talking about what he had been through. It doesn't justify my insane actions as the player, but it gives you texture to what the black experience was like. And like, there's a lot of N-word, like in the world and in this game. And it's like, I'm surprised this thing got out the door with that much. It's almost like Shaft in a way, because he gets like that visceral revenge. And like towards the end, I was like, yeah, get him. We're the devil. But man, I mean, it's still a game that's filled with open world jank. But the fact that they pushed it that far with the commentary on race, it's sadly relevant today. And then Watch Dogs 2, they also have some racial commentary, but it's like, what is hipster racism? And he's dealing with a little bit of that. And again, it's turned to 11. It's not subtle at all. But it made me think about like how my behaviors and how racism has evolved and my place in it as I was playing these both fun, competent games. Two things I want to talk about each game. Watch Dogs 2, they have missions that you can play online, and they have a bunch of online modes. I didn't do much of it, but some of the missions were just built for online, and you just drive to them like you're in the normal game. You just drive to them, and it says you want to play this with a buddy, and you just hit yes, and then your buddy shows up, and it's another guy online. And it was so built into the game that was wonderful. Like, better than Destiny, better than The Division, better than any of these games that try it. There was barely any load time. If the person dropped, they just left, and then you just have to finish it yourself, which you could, which is awesome. Some towards late game, the jokes were not as good, and the whole like hacker stuff got a little bit annoying. But it was still fun to play, and I enjoyed it. The game probably took me maybe 15 hours. And then Mafia 3, competent. Like, it's a GTA 4, a little bit looks better. It's not up to that GTA 5 level. Their budget wasn't as big. Taking place in, like, a New Orleans. So I went there for my honeymoon. So, like, the huge cemeteries, all that stuff. It's really cool. It's not New Orleans, but it's close enough. But there is such a grind in building out your empire that if you could have shaved 10 hours off this game or made that 10 hours optional, this would be like one of my favorite games of the year. But I had to stick around, and I had to do the same like takeovers and same mission. It was just a grind to get through it. And I really wanted the culmination of the story. And you got to make a decision at the end that changed the ending, which was cool too. I really wanted that, so I stuck with it. My wife doesn't like me playing video games, so she'd come down and be annoyed. And she was even more annoyed at this one because she hates black people. No, I'm kidding. She was really annoyed at this one because it just took so long, and she kept walking by and seeing me doing the same stuff, stabbing the same guy the same way. And so this one, it wasn't over, so she didn't have different colors to look at as she was rolling her eyes at me. So I think she got a little bit annoyed at this one. And it probably was over 40 hours. And I didn't do all the side stuff, but it's not as built out as GTA 5 where they have you doing all this crazy stuff. But that also makes the story more, like, coherent because you're not, like, an Uber driver or anything like that, like, in the middle of killing 20,000 people. So, I recommend both games. You can get them for $15 or less. I got the Mafia, like, 3 awesome collection with like records that I gave to Eric, like of the soundtrack and stuff like that. But yeah, you can get the games new for under $15. I'd recommend either of them. And it was cool not playing as a white guy who had his family killed, because that's like 90% of video games. And the fact that I'm still thinking about the black experience and some of like new aspects of that because of a video game, that's crazy. I know it's not like these are fictional tales, and I need more friends that aren't white dorks, but it's really cool that it pushed me in that direction. So I hope to play more games that have different non-Charlie viewpoints. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for sticking with me. Man, 8 minutes? They got me talking this long. They must be worth a play. All right, thanks. Bye.